Bugs are a part of gaming nowadays. You can polish all you want, but there's a good chance there's going to be bugs. And when a major AAA game comes out with really obvious ones, it's not a good look. 2023 has had a number of buggy releases, some obviously much more catastrophic than others, mentioning no Jedi Survivor PC ports. Names. But major AAA games coming out buggy is a bad look, especially when it's a first-party console game, because those are generally supposed to be a representation of the console at its best. You know, EA or Ubisoft release a buggy AAA game, it's nowhere near as bad a PR move as when Microsoft or Sony do it. And that brings us to today's topic. So Spider-Man 2 dropped on National New Blink-182 Album Day, also known as October 20th, and it was pretty quickly hit with criticism for its bugs. Well, I say criticism, but what I mean is people on Twitter talked about the bugs, while pretty much every professional review remained entirely silent about them. And before anyone takes me out of context, I'm in no way saying that the bugginess of Spider-Man 2 is even close to being on the same level as other 2023 releases like Jedi Survivor or Redfall, or the fucking PC port of Last of Us 1, which I keep forgetting is something that actually came out this year. But there's also no denying that when it comes to the AAA console exclusive level of polish, Spider-Man 2 is not the best example of it. I mean, even the amazing Lucas made a point to bring this up in a video, and if you have the amazing fucking Lucas calling it out, there's an issue. Also, as a little aside, I heard from a friend of mine that the bugginess of Spider-Man 2 is somewhat connected to whether or not you're playing the physical or digital version of it? ? Like, my friend has it digitally, and he said that he's gotten a handful of bugs, but his roommate has the physical version, and that they've been getting all of the worst bugs that you've been hearing about. So not sure if that's coincidence or consistent. I'm genuinely interested to hear in the comments if anyone else has noticed an uptick in bugs on the disc version of the game. But anyways, Spider-Man 2 has its fair share of bugs, and it was honestly kind of jarring to see, because as much shit as I give first-party PlayStation games, I can at least praise them for being generally polished and pretty bug-free once you surgically remove Days Gone from the lineup. But what has not been jarring is the number of PlayStation diehards not only trying to excuse the bugginess of Spider-Man 2, but a number of them are just straight up denying that the bugs exist at all, which is an interesting tactic. Like, I've given shit to Xbox fanboys for trying to excuse the bugs of games like Redfall, but at least they acknowledge they exist, you know? So the other day, GameRanks posted this article, and as mean as I've been to this outlet over the years, I'll admit that this was actually a rather fair and balanced documentation of the state of Spider-Man 2 at launch. They list some of the main issues, like gamers who bought a disc cannot finish the installation, gamers cannot install the game to their SSD, some gamers cannot change performance and fidelity modes, there are cases of the game crashing or overheating, and obviously this isn't even getting into the graphical glitches that I'm sure you've been seeing around YouTube and Twitter for the last week or so. But then they summarize the whole thing in what I think is a very fair manner. Quote, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 received a 91 Metacritic score from 150 critic reviews. That gives it the distinction of receiving universal acclaim from said reviewers. However, these review scores are not based on the version of the game that some players received, and that's a problem. Remember, Metacritic is more than some award or medal that the industry gets to brag about. Game developers can lose their jobs or see their bonuses and pay cut if their project does not get the Metacritic their employer is aiming for. This is not a fair system at all, but if we are to follow these rules arbitrarily set by the industry, we have to at least try to make it as fair as possible. And it would not be fair that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 receives a citation for universal acclaim when it clearly was not that experience for everyone. Now, whether you loved Spider-Man 2 or you think it should be set on fire because Venom is gay or something, we should at least be in agreement, I hope, that this is a very fair assessment of things. But of course, you wouldn't be watching this video if we were all in agreement on this. And naturally, there were a legion of people who came out swinging against this article, and of course I had my screenshot button ready, so let's put the console war aside for a few minutes, and we can all laugh at people trying to argue that bugs are bad and deserve to be criticized, but also if there's a PlayStation logo on the box, then bugs are totally fine and or don't exist. Wrestling Fiend says, how to be a useless gaming news site. This was the top reply, by the way. At the time that I'm making this video, this was the top reply. Apparently pointing out that there are bugs in Spider-Man 2 makes you a worthless gaming news site, which coincidentally is not a sentiment I expect you to hold towards the sites that chose not to point out the bugs in Spider-Man 2, which was the whole point of the article in question. But we'll just move on, I guess. Webhead says the buggiest game of 2023 lists 2 bugs and crashes lol. To say this is the buggiest game of any year is literally asinine. Because who needs reading comprehension in 2023, am I right? They never said this was the buggiest game of 2023. They said it's the buggiest game with the universal acclaim label. Like, it's not even hidden down in the article. It's not even clickbait. It's literally the headline. But no surprise that this comment was made by someone unironically calling themselves Webhead, and their profile picture is literally just a piece of marketing for the game in question. And don't worry, we're just getting started. B-Dog says, it came out 3 days ago, y'all, hop off Insomniac's dick. Today I learned bugs can only be criticized in the first 3 days of a game's life cycle, thank God for that. Stephen Richards says, I've had a few bugs, such as the suit model disappeared, audio desync, and during the museum exploration, Miles' jacket model was off. But it didn't detract from my experience, as these bugs only happened once, and it definitely deserved... Wait, let me get this straight. You had the suit disappear, you had the audio go out of sync, and that didn't detract from the experience? Like, at all? I can't wait to see you guys all keep this same energy next time a AAA game comes out with these same kind of issues, but without the PlayStation or Spider-Man logos on the box. I can't wait for you guys to keep this same kind of energy towards those games, even though we all know that's not going to happen. Franco says, 15 hours in, still no bugs. I love all those tweets of lies. Shame on you. Look, it's one thing to not have experienced bugs yourself. But to say straight up that people are lying about there being bugs is perhaps the worst position you could possibly take here. Video games are an interactive medium. People's experiences are always going to have differences between them, and for that reason, it's entirely possible for a game of Spider-Man 2's level of bugginess to give you an experience without any noticeable issues. But to straight up say the people who did experience bugs are liars, like, dude, how many checks are you fucking cashing? That's the saddest part. It's none. No checks. You're just like this for free. Oh, here's a good one. I like this one. This one's good. At Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try with that. At stupid NFT profile says clickbait and not true. Fake news. To which Psycho Baker responds with a video of the cube glitch, which is one of the funnier things I've seen in this game. But stupid NFT profile responds, you like bugs in games? And has a video of Starfield. PlayStation fanboys defend a Sony product without bringing up Microsoft challenge. Impossible. 100% fail. Owlboom says, you guys played Starfield too, right? The most Bethesda polished game. PlayStation fanboys defend a Sony product without bringing up Microsoft challenge. Impossible. 100% fail. KJ says, I honestly feel sorry for anyone who hasn't experienced this game. I don't care what any of the haters are talking about. Just please get a PS5 and play this game. It's just incredible. Haters will try and keep bashing this game, but I honestly really feel bad. You know, I was actually just wondering what Jim Ryan had been up to since announcing retirement. It's good to see he hasn't turned in all the alt accounts. The DRBC says, I'll agree, but none are game breaking. I've had an invisible J. Jonah Jameson, a weird glitch where I was stuck in the grass, and an audio bug where all ambient sound disappeared until after I quit and restarted. It's still a fantastic game. I'm sorry, you got stuck in the ground and also had an instance where you had to restart the game in order to fix something. Is that literally not what game breaking means? Like a bug that breaks the game, resulting in a reset? What? I also love how you say, oh, I'll agree, but none are game breaking. And a reminder that these are the things listed in the article you responded to. None of these are game breaking. None of these are game breaking. Can't install the game. That's not a game breaking bug. Well, actually, I guess that isn't a game breaking bug, because you have to be able to get in the game first to get a game breaking. Anyways, this person says, I admit I run into some bugs, but it's far from being the buggiest game of the year. Oh look, someone else who can't read the fucking tweet they're replying to. Six says, City Skylines 2 exists. What do you mean, lol? Oh look, someone else who can't read the fucking tweet they're replying. Finger says, we forgetting Payday 3 now? Oh look, someone else who can't read the fucking... Haynes John says, I don't have any bugs. Starfield has way more bugs. PlayStation fanboys defend the Sony product without bringing up Microsoft challenge. Impossible. Zachary Quintal says, clearly you haven't played Skull Island, The Rise of Kong, calling Spider-Man the buggiest game of the year. I used to like you guys too, but fuck you now. This is amazing. Like, this is honestly amazing. Like, how do you guys... This is incredible. Do you guys just read a headline and then process it as criticism of Spider-Man 2 and then just instantly go into attack mode? Like, regardless of what the criticism actually was? That's the only way I can explain this level of mass incompetency in this thread. It's genuinely amazing. John Chamberlain says, there are bugs in this game? Is that the spiders? The bees? Because it's impossible to platinum a game that has bugs in it, didn't you know? There's no way you can get all the achievements in a game with bugs. That's why no one has ever completed a Bethesda game. Wait, Pokinaru says, are the bugs in the room with us right now? And he also has a Spider-Man profile picture. Look, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm tired, boss. I never thought we'd be at the point where we're just flat out denying that a game that obviously has bugs. Like, I never thought that's where we'd be at. And in case you hadn't thought about this already, let me be perfectly clear. If you keep defending buggy products, you will continue to get buggy products. If you want bugs to be fixed, you have to vocalize that you are unhappy with the bugs being there. Like, I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Do the bugs enhance the experience? No? Great. So why are we defending them? Why are we so desperate to make sure no one talks about them? Like, you already got your fucking 91 Metascore or whatever. You can stop publicly executing anyone who dares criticize the latest Sony exclusive now. And also, if you insist on publicly executing anyone who criticizes a Sony exclusive, perhaps you should learn to read a fucking headline before responding to it. Because literally no one called this the buggiest game of 2023. But that seems to be the big defense that a lot of you are taking, and I genuinely can't tell if it's out of pure stupidity, or blind loyalty to Sony, or if it's just you trying to redirect criticism somewhere else like every fucking Sony fanboy does when their exclusives get criticized for perfectly legitimate reasons. Whatever the reason is, stop it. You could have just been a normal person and played the fucking Spider-Man game and criticized the aspects of it that deserve criticism, but no, you had to make the whole thing stupid and get yourself in a Joe from Seattle video. And for that, we thank you. Toodles.